What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to entail the reading vlog of Finale, the final book in the Caraval trilogy by Stephanie Garber. I'm so excited to be finishing the series, not in like a bad way or anything. I always feel like when I say that, people take it as like, oh, do you just not like the series? Is that why you're excited to finish it? No, I'm excited to see what happens because Legendary was really interesting. I did talk about how much I enjoyed Caraval, the first book in this trilogy, more than Legendary, so I'm wanting to see where this one falls in my rating of these three books, and I'm super excited because once I finish this trilogy, I can move on to the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and a lot of people say that one is the better of the two, so I'll be the judge of that. No, I won't. You're entitled to your own opinion. I'm just saying I would like to know if I agree with these people or not. So yeah, this book is, I think, 470 pages. It is a romantasy, a YA, and I think this one follows both of the sisters from the first one. I'm pretty positive. Anybody else, does this annoy anybody else that the front cover does not cover the entire book in these books? Because I have other books that are like this, and I'm just like, it bothers me just a tiny bit. If that bothers anyone else, please like the video if this bothers you. I do think it follows both Scarlet and Tella. So, for a little bit of context here, the first book of Caraval was in the POV or point of view of Scarlet, the older of the two sisters, and then Legendary was in the POV of Donatella, or Tella, the younger of the two sisters. So, for my opinion of which sister I liked more, and which POV I enjoyed more, I enjoyed Scarlet's more than Tella's. Tella just seemed very, she wasn't quick to catch on. There were some things that, like, it took her, like, 5 chapters to figure out, and I was like, I figured it out, like, in that chapter that she was told the information of, if that makes sense. I'm like, girl, hurry up, you're taking too long. And that was some of my frustration with her, and I feel like Scarlet, I'm not saying that Tella's not smart, I just feel like Scarlet is better at thinking through things and deducing, yeah, that's the right word, information, and being able to put puzzle pieces together and clues together a lot faster than Tella can. So I'm excited to get both of their POVs in this book, and because I missed Scarlet's POVs in the last one, alright? And I know that, so there's a character called Jax who was introduced in Legendary, and I'm pretty sure he plays a bigger part in this one. He's also, I think, one of the main characters in Once Upon a Broken Heart. And I laugh because I think I saw a YouTube short about this the other day of someone, like, they hated Jax in this series because he was so annoying and obnoxious and egotistical, which I agree with. But they love him in Once Upon a Broken Heart, so I'm like, what changes between this trilogy and that one that makes him, like, attractive to people? I'm so curious, so I cannot wait to find that out. And yeah, I cannot wait to see where this goes from the cliffhanger that ended Legendary. Obviously, I don't want to talk about that because that may spoil some things. So yeah, I hope I can get this book done soon. It's thicker than the other ones. I think the other ones were around 300 pages. This one's a lot longer, although it's a great floppiness. Anybody else like having floppy books? Like the video if you do. So yeah, let's dive in to Finale. Or is it Final? I'm pretty sure that's Finale. Comment down below which one you think it is. Is this Final or Finale? I want to say Final. This looks more like Final, but let's get into it. Hey guys, first update. So I am now on chapter 12, page 93, and I'm like 20% of the way through the book. And guess who just made an appearance? Jax. So again, if you haven't read any of these books, or if you haven't read Once Upon a Broken Heart, Jax is a character in this who, I think I mention this all the time whenever I talk about him. People don't really like him very much in this trilogy, but they love him in Once Upon a Broken Heart and in that trilogy. I think he becomes more of a main character in that trilogy, and we follow more of his story. But in this, I'm like, oh, great. Like, the way that Tella described this, this isn't really spoiling, because, you know, he comes back. A hand clamped over her lips, cold and sweet, like apples in faded magic. After I heard that, I'm listening to this as an audiobook as well. I was like, well, guess who's back? Back again. And he shouldn't be, but and oh man, I love a dual POV. So basically this book switches between Scarlet and Donatella's POVs, and right now we're in Donatella's, but I did love the little snippet of Scarlet's point of view we got. And another thing that I've also noticed, and I really loved, I love this in Caraval with Scarlet's point of view, is that she describes a lot of emotions by colors. It's how she's feeling about something, or how she describes her emotion towards something is a lot of times in vivid colors. Well, I feel like with Tella, sometimes hers is like smells. I think I noticed some, like she describes things like smells, which I found that was really interesting. How with Scarlet, Stephanie Garber had written like colors and kind of like a deep red or something. And that's funny because her name's Scarlet and her nickname is Crimson, so like her name's like a color. And I really liked that, how like that was how she kind of made Scarlet distinct in the way she wrote for her, while with Tella, she made her more distinct with like the smell or the aromas around her. That's how she describes things. That's how she recognizes people by their scent or by their smell. And I think that is very interesting in the sense of like a good writing style that I think is something I've never read before. So you go, Stephanie Garber. I just love getting to see both sisters' POVs in a book, because I really wanted a lot more of Scarlet in Legendary. I'm gonna be honest, Donatella is not my favorite of the two. Definitely Scarlet. And I definitely think that getting a good mix of the two, and getting kind of what's going on with Scarlet, what's going on with Tella, because stuff's going on with both of them. Things are happening. It's getting crazy. And I'm only 20% of the way through and stuff's happened. Stuff has happened. And I'm like, where are we going to go from this? That was like something just happened that kind of completely negated the whole premise of Legendary. Like the whole point of Legendary, something just happened that kind of just like, I was like, so why did we spend a whole entire book trying to do this, and then you just like just do what you just did? Like, come on. I had to read a whole entire book about that, and then it just kind of disappears. I'm trying not to, spoil any of them, but yeah, so it's very interesting to kind of get to see both POVs of the sisters and kind of their outlook on the other sister. Because you get obviously you get Tella's point of view of Scarlet and Scarlet's point of view of Tella, but they're both very, like, different, if that makes any sense. Of this, like, Scarlet is like, Tella is very reckless, she's spontaneous, she says what she's thinking, she doesn't think before she acts, she's very out there, outgoing, and that's just not who Scarlet is. But Scarlet is now kind of becoming that a little bit. Like, obviously she's not losing herself, but she is becoming a little bit more spontaneous, a little bit more reckless, while Tella sees her sister as the nervous, anxious, always overthinking everything, always second guessing, like, is this a good idea, is this a bad idea? Well, I feel like Tella has started to just a little bit think about things before she does them. Like, just thinks about stuff before she does it. And I love that they're kind of picking up on their sister's traits as they go through this journey together. They pick up each other's traits, and I think that's so cool. So yeah, I'm again 20% of the way through this. I will probably come back and update you guys when I'm 50% of the way through, as that is how I kind of like to do it, like 50 or 40%. And yeah, see you guys in the next clip. Hey guys, so it's Saturday now. Whoop, last time I updated you was Wednesday, and I am now 50%. I keep hitting myself. I'm now 50% of the way through this book, and wow, things are getting insane. A giant thing just happened. A secret was revealed. A life turned upside down. And honestly, I don't really know how to process this. I'm on page 255 on chapter 33. So I got a decent way through this in the past couple of days. I'm understanding why people hate Jax so much in this series. Because I'm annoyed at him. I'm like, dude, just go away. And then I'm also, something awesome actually did just happen. Because a couple that I wanted to get together got together. I won't tell you which one, because I don't want to spoil it, but I was like, yay. That was a good thing, but I'm like, my brain's trying to comprehend all the crazy amount of information I've gotten in the past couple chapters, because there's a lot that just went down. So I don't know why it took me this long to update it, but yeah, so we are 50% of the way through. I like saying you aren't reading this with me. Maybe you are, that'd be actually really cool. So yeah, I'll update you guys again, probably when I'm like 60 or 70, or finished with it, whenever I find the time to film. I've been really busy recently, but yeah, see you guys in the next clip. Hey guys, so I officially finished finale, however you want to read it, and I'm here to give you guys my review and my thoughts. But I'm also going to give you kind of my review and thoughts of the whole series now that I've finished it. But so I gave this one 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It was good. I liked this one better than Legendary, which Legendary I gave 3 stars. So it kind of is the same rating as Caraval, which I gave also 4 stars. So these ones have a similar rating in my mind. It did not give me the 5-star feel of where I was like, obviously it's why it's not 5-star, of like, oh, I'm definitely gonna be thinking about this book after. Not really. I don't think I'll be thinking about most of it. There were just some parts of it that I did like, and then some parts of it that I didn't, but didn't like make it a 3-star. Like, it wasn't okay. I actually enjoyed this one a lot more. I liked the dual POV, so it switches some of the things I did like about it. Let me start the sentence properly. Was the dual POV, the switching between Scarlet and Tella's points of view. I'm gonna be honest, I like Scarlet more. She's kind of my favorite sister out of the two of them. So when reading this one, I was like, great, we get Scarlet again. Crumbs of Scarlet. It felt like a second Tella book. So Donatella has Legendary as her book, and then Scarlet's is the first one, which is Caraval. So I really enjoyed Scarlet in this one. That's probably why this one got 4 stars. I also enjoy her love interest in this book. This one, I didn't like Tella very much. I think I talked about this in my March wrap-up video, because I read this book in March, of how I just didn't enjoy her character as much. I did annotate this book. Not very much, but I did annotate it. I don't know, there was something, and also about like the kind of almost love triangle. It becomes more prominent in this one. Love triangle that Tella finds herself in. I'm just like, I wasn't even really rooting for either side. I was like, girl, just do your own thing. Don't worry about the dude. Don't really worry about boys in that. So when I got to this one, we had some more Scarlet scenes, which I loved, and some more crumbs of her and her love interest, their relationship. Crumbs. I mean Crumbs. Majority of this book followed Tella, and I was just like, why? I want more of Scarlet and her love interest. I don't want to spoil who the love interest is if you don't read it. If you want to read it, I don't want to spoil the names or something. This storyline was interesting because it definitely, this one felt the more fantasy heavy one out of the three of these. Out of the three of them, this one felt a little bit more on the fantasy plotline heavy. Now, obviously, anytime Tella was on, it was all about boys. Scarlet did feel, her POVs felt more on like, okay, we have a mission. We're doing this. I have to trick somebody and do magic, and yeah, hers felt more on the fantasy aspect, while Tella's still felt heavy on the romance. Jax, who was a character who was introduced in Legendary, he plays I want to say a bigger role in this one, bigger role in my annoyance in this one. I was like, dude, can you just leave her alone? Leave Tella alone, please. I'm begging you. Like, seriously, I kid you not. I was like, he annoyed me so bad. Anytime he would come in, and it's always at like the worst possible moments in the book, because it's like when Tella's doing something else that's way more important than he shows up, but I'm just like, go away. Can I just go? I want to snap my fingers and make him disappear. I'm like, just go away. You're annoying me so bad. And I'm wondering how he, give me 1 second, I'm gonna go grab the book, how he redeems himself in Once Upon a Broken Heart, because I know that he comes back in this one, because this follows I think a little bit after this one, after the ending of Caraval. So I'm like, how do people like him in this? I find him annoying here. How did he redeem himself? I'm so curious, and I cannot wait to read this book, whenever that will be. But I'm like, how does he redeem himself? I want to know, because who knows, maybe this book will go from being a Jax hater to a Jax lover. I have no idea. But, so, yeah, that's kind of my overall opinion on this one. There wasn't really a whole lot that stood out to me in this book. I did like the ending. The ending was interesting. It was I want to say a somewhat happy ending. I mean, it was a happy-ish ending. It kind of left off in almost like a little bit of a cliffhanger of just like, oh, something gonna happen there. So overall, my feelings of the whole, let me hold these properly, the whole trilogy here of Caraval by Stephanie Garber, I really enjoyed the first one. This one is definitely my favorite, I think, out of all three of them. I don't know why, I just really enjoyed Scarlet's POV and her experience with Caraval, and how she kind of, just her character was really fun. I probably should state this before I do any review of any book. I am a character-driven person, not a plot-driven person. So if I don't like a character as much, example of Legendary, I'm not going to care much about what's going on, because for a plot to be good for me, I'd have to care about the character that the plot follows, which was Tella for me. I just didn't enjoy her as much as I did Scarlet. Like, Scarlet in this book made me enjoy this plot, this idea so much more than Tella did in hers. So yeah, this one, the Caraval, I gave 4 stars. Legendary, I gave 3. And then Finale, I also gave 4. So these ones are both 4 stars. I would say if I was to rate the entire series, all 3 of these books, I'd probably give it an average of 3 stars. Just because this one, if we took this book out of the equation and it was just these 2, I probably would give it like 2.5 to 3 stars. Like, I still I enjoyed the books. It just, they're not books that I'm constantly going to be thinking about, or really, but like, this one would probably, like I said, this is a 4-star book, because I did enjoy a lot of the fantasy aspects in this book and some of the characters in this book. This one's definitely a 4-star. It was so close to being a 5. It just didn't have that, like, oh, I'm going to be thinking about this all day. No, I haven't actually really thought about this book much since, unless I was reading one of these. That's why this is a 4-star. So I feel like, I guess I'd probably give this series overall, yeah, like a 3.5 star rating. It's kind of where I'm at with this one. I would recommend it. If you want to read a romantasy and you're wanting to get into it and you want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, I would definitely recommend reading these first, as I haven't read Once Upon a Broken Heart, so this may change my opinion once I start reading that one. But for a person who doesn't like spoilers for series, I would read these 3 first before you read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, because I know that this spoils the ending of these. So if you don't like spoilers and you know you want to go back and reread some of Stephanie, or read some of Stephanie Garber's previous books to Once Upon a Broken Heart, I would just recommend reading these first. They're not, I mean, they're long, I guess. This one was like 470. I think this one was around 400. I think they're all in like that 400, 300 range. So not crazy long. But yeah, so yeah, I give this whole series overall like a 3.5 stars. Would recommend to a high schooler probably, because there are some, I want to say that like there's no spice in these. It's just like there's some scenes where I was like, okay, that's a little weird. Like it doesn't, it's fantasy, so there's some things in there I'm like, this is just weird. Like some of the magical elements and characters, I'm just like, this is weird. This is huh? That's probably another reason why some of these didn't, whoop, I just hit myself in the face. Didn't get super high ratings. I mean, they are higher ratings. I wouldn't give any of these a 2. They're not that bad to me. But yeah, so yeah, I would definitely recommend these to anyone who's wanting to kind of get into the romantasy genre, the romance fantasy genre, because if you're just trying to get into the fantasy genre, I would definitely not recommend this series for that, because it is very heavy on romance. I would probably recommend the Cruel Prince trilogy, because I've read only the first 2 books in that, but that is more fantasy heavy first and then romance second. I would also recommend, yeah, like Harry Potter here. I would recommend, I'm trying to think of other fantasy series I've read. Hold up. Powerless is a romantasy as well. I wouldn't really recommend that one for that. I'd recommend Narnia as well if you want to really just trying to get into fantasy. Milana Legends, that's a good one. But yeah, I lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Okay, so this is obviously the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.